First of all, let's clear out these notes I've already written. So I can click on a measure, not on a note or a rest, but on the measure. So kind of empty space within the measure so that you get the box. And then I can press the delete key. That's going to clear out that measure. I can click on a measure and then shift click on another measure to select all the measures in between, and then press the delete key to clear out all of it. And that works between staves as well, if you want to clear out stuff between staves. Okay, now the keyboard entry method. This, a lot of people swear by this and use this for everything. I find it to be rather tricky. So what we're going to do here is first we're going to select which rhythm we want to use on the number pad. So 5 means quarter note. And then as you go higher in numbers, you get to smaller, or sorry, as you go higher in numbers, you get to bigger rhythms. So 5 is quarter note, 6 is half note. You can see it moving at the top of the screen in my note palette. 7 is half or whole note, 8 is double whole note, etc. So back to 5. If I go to 4, I get an 8th note, 3, 16th note, 2, 32nd note, etc. So I can select my rhythms just using the numbers on my keypad. I can select my notes using just letter names. So here's where it's a little weird. So let's say I want to put in a C major scale. Okay. Now note my key signature here is going to make me have to change some notes to get a C major scale, right? So I'm going to say, let's do it as 8th note. So I'm going to press 4, and then I'm going to press the letter C. Okay. Now I'm going to press, I'm going to stay on quarter notes. So I don't need to press another rhythm, but I can type in D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay. Now it knew which C to use there, which is interesting. If I didn't want it, and I'm going to try to do all of this by not touching the mouse, right? So I'm going to use the arrow key to go back to select this note. If I wanted it to be down, I can just use the down arrow key to move it down an octave, or anywhere actually. So I can move anything around with arrow keys. So let's go now make this a C major scale, which means I need to change my Fs to F naturals. So I'm going to move the cursor over an F and press the down arrow to make it an F natural. I need my G's to be natural, and I need my C's to be natural, actually. There we go. So any note you can make sharp or flat based on the arrow keys up or down. So up is going to make it sharp, down is going to make it natural, and down again is going to make it actually move to the next note in this case. So here's where one would make more sense to have a flat. So B flat. So as you're entering notes, just remember that it's going to enter them diatonically in this way, meaning in the key. Okay, so let's go out here and let's try this again. So I'm going to try to mix up my rhythms now. So I'm going to go to 8th notes and type in C, D, and then quarter note, E, C, 8th note, D, A, B, 16th note, E, F, G, A. Okay. And then we'll stop there. Okay, so I can move this all down an octave if I need to, either with the arrow keys, or if I want this whole thing to be down an octave, I can select the whole area, same as we did before, and go to Notes, Transpose, and I can shift it down. The easiest would be by interval, down, perfect octave. Okay. And that shifts a whole passage down an octave. So if you're shifting just one note down an octave, the arrow key is probably the fastest way to do it. If you're shifting a whole passage down an octave, then select it and go to that octave transposition menu. Okay, so I find using that keyboard thing just too much to think about. It really stumps me up way too much. So I don't use that one very often, but I know some people who use it exclusively. They just sit at a keypad and it's like they're writing a novel and they're just do typing stuff, and it blows my mind. I find it to be frustrating, but you might like it. I just think my brain doesn't work that way. Okay, so the third way. Let's go into the third way, and this uses a MIDI keyboard.